Again, he says, now I want you to know, brothers and sisters, that what has happened to me has actually served to advance the gospel. So Paul has this vision of his life where he knows what he wants to do and he knows where he wants to go, and yet God has him locked down here. He has an assignment. He is stuck in house arrest. He is confined to this place. And he doesn't say, it's important sometimes to notice what the scriptures don't say. He doesn't say, well, listen, bad things have happened, but I guess God will do good things anyway. It's a dark, cloudy day, but I guess there's a ray of sunshine over here. No, he says this very terrible thing that happened to me is advancing the gospel, not in spite of what happened to me, but because of it. And this is the view that Paul has. And it's the view that allows him to have joy, even in his circumstance, even in his confinement. Listen to me, when Paul sees his confinement as his assignment, the gospel was advanced. When he started to say, it's not like, how do I just get out of here? And how do I complain? And how do I grumble about all this? When he says, no, this is the assignment God has given me, the gospel gets advanced. And what was true for Paul's life is also true for your life as well. When we view our confinement as an assignment, the gospel is advanced. In other words, when you change your perspective about what's going on in your life right now, from a grumbling, complaining, just get me out of this, just get me past this season, Lord. But when you change it to, Lord, this is the assignment you've put in front of me right now, the gospel becomes advanced through your life. And here's what I know. When I say something like that, that is incredibly difficult for some of us to hear. Because if I were to stand in the lobby for hours and hours after this service, I imagine you could come tell me all of the horrible, painful, unjust, unrighteous things that have happened in your life, maybe even recently. And from time to time, as someone's pouring out their heart, they ask this question. They say, Pastor, how could God possibly use this circumstance that happened in my life? How could God possibly use that for anything good in my life or in this world? And every time I'm asked that question about a specific circumstance, I have the same answer. It's 3 words, and it frustrates everyone, but it's the only 3 words I know how to say. I don't know. I don't. If someone comes to me with their pain and says, how could God possibly use this? I don't know how God will use that pain. I do know that God has promised that he will work all things for the good of those who love him. God has told me and you that in the scriptures. Rest and the shipwreck and the confinement and the house arrest, all of that, God is using it to advance the gospel. And yet in each of our lives, we can be confident that God is doing that. We just might not know how, and we don't have a clear answer to that on the front end. But here's how we get through it. We get through it by believing a simple and a core truth that we should anchor our lives in. The fundamental ability to trust God comes from agreeing with or having an understanding or a deep appreciation of the sentence I'm about to say. And that's this sentence, that God really does know exactly what he's doing with your life. He really knows. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly where he's leading you. He knew what he was doing with Paul's life. He knows what he's doing with your life. Like, let me put it this way. So last week, I was with my kids, and it was supposed to rain later in the afternoon, so I wanted to take them to the park, get them out of the house before the rain. I piled them up in the car, said, we're going to the park, and we start driving toward the park. Now, as we're driving toward the park, I had an idea. I said, I'll give them a little surprise. Just past the park, I had a little surprise for them. Once you drive past it, there's a little shopping center, and in the shopping center, there's a donut shop. And so I'm going, yes, got a little surprise for the kids. So we're driving to the park, and the park is on the left. And as I'm driving, the kids are just kind of chatting, and then suddenly I pass the turn to get into the park. And the chorus of protest is loud and fierce. Dad, you missed the turn. No, that's the park. You said we were going to go. Dad, you promised we were going to the park. And I'm driving. I said, kids, I just need you to trust me right now. And they're upset, and they're complaining, and they're anxious, and they're mad, and they're making their opinion known to me. I keep driving. I take a little left. I park in there. They say, Dad, when you said you were going to take us to the park. And I said, children, I am going to take you to the park. But before we go to the park, I thought I'd first take you to the donut shop. And let me tell you, that chorus of complaints became celebration. They lifted me upon their shoulders. They raised me up as the greatest father ever. And I thought to myself as I was prepping for this sermon, you know who I often am? I'm the kid sitting in the back seat going, God, you're doing it wrong. No, you should have turned over there. God, this shouldn't have happened in my life. No, God, if you really wanted things to go well for me, that shouldn't have happened, or this should have happened. She shouldn't have said that. He shouldn't have done that. This shouldn't have happened in that way. I'm in the back seat saying, God, I don't really trust that what you have is good for me. And I wonder if that's true for you as well. See, what I need to do if I'm going to trust God in the midst of every circumstance, if I'm going to see that my confinement is actually his assignment, is I'm going to have to trust that God actually knows what he's doing in my life. Not just that he has the ability to direct my life, but that he has the desire, and he actually does. God is moving. He knows exactly what he's doing in Paul's life. And hear me, child of God. God knows exactly what he's doing in your life, and he will guide you to the right places to accomplish his assignment in your life.
Thanks for watching this video. Please like and subscribe to get more content so that you can live and love like Jesus.